Okay, welcome to math today. Today this is more of an introduction or informational video for how to do the activity you're going to be doing in class. Your goal today is to be able to work with GCF again, finding the greatest common factor of a set of specific numbers. Okay, so get this written down, today's date, page number, and come back when you are ready. All right, so I have a little warm-up for you. Okay. There's 3 questions on the screen here, and I want you to answer them before moving on. It says, why is it convenient to measure time using 60 minutes in an hour, not 59 minutes or 61 minutes? And same with hours, why 24 instead of 23 and 25? Go ahead and answer that one. Second question, why does your birthday fall on a different day of the week from one year to the next? And why is the same also true for certain holidays like New Year's Day or 4th of July? And finally, insects called cicadas spend most of their lives underground. Many of them come above ground only 13 or 17 years. Why is it unlikely you will ever see 13 and 17-year cicadas appear together? When you answer these questions fully, come on back. All right, so Jamie here is a 12-year-old. Her cousin Emilio is 12 years old, and her brother Cam is 3. Her neighbor Esther is 8, and the following number sentences say that Jamie is either 6 times as old as Emilio, which means 6 times 2. That gives you 12, so that's how you get to her age of 12. She's also 4 times as old as Cam. If Cam's 3, 3 times 4 is 12. And she's 1.5 times as old as Esther. So 8 times 1.5, that would get you 12 as well. Hopefully what you noticed here is that each of the whole numbers, 2, 3, 4, and 6, all can be multiplied by another whole number to get 12. So basically, 2, 3, 4, and 6 are called whole number factors, or whole number divisors of 12. Now, although 8 is a whole number, it is not a whole number factor of 12, because 8 times something doesn't give you 12 exactly. So to save time, what we usually say are these words are factors and divisors. They basically refer to how these are whole number factors and whole number divisors. So whole numbers that can be multiplied together or whole numbers that are divided together. So make sure you have these down in your notebook, a factor divisor and a proper factor. So one of 2 or more whole numbers that are multiplied to get a product. So the example is 6 and 2 are factors of 12. Before you're done with this slide, I want you to also write another example instead of 6 and 2 equaling 12. A divisor is a number that divides a given number, leaving a remainder of 0. So 12 is a divisor of 60 because 12 can go into 60 5 times. Again, give me another example. And then proper factors, these are all the factors of a number except the number itself. So the proper factors of 10 are 1, 2, and 5. We don't use 10 because that is just a regular factor. A proper factor doesn't use that number. It's something a little different and new from what we've talked about. I want you to give me another example. You can pick any number as long as it's not a prime number. Come back when you're done. All right, so today what you're going to be doing, I got to change views here. Give me a second. Okay, today what you're going to be doing is you're going to be playing the factor game. All right, so there are several rules to the factor game, and it involves 2 players. So you're going to be playing with someone else. All right, now how it works is a player chooses a number on the game board, and then they circle it. Then, using a different color, player B is going to have to circle all the proper factors of that number. And the reason it's proper factors, someone already took the actual number itself. So what happens then is the one person who picked the number, they get those points, and the second person will get to add up all the factors that they circled, and that will be how many points they received. So we're going to do, as it says for number 2, the example where first person circles 12 and what happens from there. So I'm going to use red as player A, okay? And I will use blue as player B. So player A goes first and they circle 12, okay? So if I had scores written down here. Right now, player A has 12. Now, player B then circles all the factors that are on the board that go with 12. Well, 1 goes with 12, 2 goes into 12. Oops, sorry, wrong color. 1 goes into 12, 2 goes into 12, 3 goes into 12, 4 goes into 12, 5 doesn't, 6 does. So now what you do is you can add up the points that they have there. So that's 6, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16. So player B gets 16 points. Now player B can circle a proper factor. So player B is going to pick one. Let's say you picked 15. Okay? So player B can write down that they just got 15 points. And now player A gets to find all the factors that are left over. Well, 1 goes into 15, but that's already taken. 3 goes into 15, but that's already taken. 5 goes into 15, and that's it. So you add the 5 points there. Okay? Since there's no factors left, then you go on to the next one. Now, let's say player A now gets to circle a number. What if player A does this? 11. Now, are there any other numbers up there for 11? The answer is no. So if a player circles a number that has no factors left, that have not been circled, then the player does not get the points for the number circled and loses the next turn. So now A just lost 11 points. B doesn't get them, but they lost the points and they lose their next turn. So now player B gets to go twice. Okay, so player B is going, hey, I'm going to circle 14, and I see that I have a factor of 7 left over. Cool. Now, because player A lost their turn, player B gets to go again. Player B is going to circle 30. So 1's already taken, 2's already taken, 3's already taken, 5's already taken, but 10 is a factor of 30. 15's already taken. So now all the factors of 30 are taken. Now A gets to go again. And A is going to look at the numbers and they're going to say, I'm going to take 16. So they get 16. And then they'll say, okay, player B will go, well, 8 is a factor of 16, and they circle that. Now let's say the game's all over. Now what you do is you add up the numbers and you see who has the most points. So if we go here to see who won this game, we're going to notice that player A has 5 points, plus 16, that's 21, plus 12 is 33. So player A got 33 points in the game. And then player B has 3, 6, 10, 15, 21, 28, 36, 46, 50, 60, 75, 85, 105. So player B wins. Okay? You're going to get to play a couple times today against one person, or maybe we'll let you switch up, but this is how the game is played. So I want to make sure I went through it once so you can kind of see how it works. 2 players swapping back and forth to see who can get as many points, with one person circling the proper factor and everyone circling whatever's left as the regular factors. Okay, now that you've played a couple times, I want you to stop and answer these 6 questions in your notebook. You can work on these with the person you were doing the game with. And I want you to come up with good answers that are at least 1 full sentence or more, depending on what it takes to answer them. Come back when you're done. All right, here's your box of thought. 3 more questions that you're going to answer on your own this time. And then make sure you box them off when you're completed. Continue on when you're done. And finally, here is your lesson quiz. 7 questions. I know it looks like a lot, but it's actually pretty easy. Go ahead and work through these, and when you're done, come see me to get your homework. Good job today. We'll see you for our next lesson, maybe tomorrow.